Good day everyone, my name is Kendall S. Loizaga, and for today's video I will share to you some information about Covid-19. Alam naman natin na yung Covid-19 is isa sa pinakamalaking problema ng buong mundo. So dahil dito marami ang naapektuhan at nawalan ng hanap buhay at maging ang ating mga ekonomiya ay naapektuhan. So sa video na to is i-share ko sa inyo kung paano nga ba nagsimula itong si Covid-19. So, saan nga ba ito nanggaling? So, according to my research, Covid-19 was originate in Wuhan, a city in Hubei, China. So, dun siya nanggaling. Because in Wuhan, China, meron dong isang market na nagbebenta ng mga hayop na pinagbibinta nila para makain. So, mayroon din yung mga paniki, mayroon din yung mga pangolins or other wild animals na ibinebenta nila doon. So, sinasabi na itong si coronavirus or COVID-19 is nanggaling sa bats, comes from bats, but other studies say that its origins from pangolin. So dun siya nanggaling. So pag sinabi naman natin na coronavirus, it is a group of viruses that can cause disease in both humans and animals. So may tinatawag tayo na severe acute respiratory syndromes or SARS. It is a virus strain known as SARS-CoV at ito yung example ng coronavirus. So itong COVID-19 na tinatawag natin ngayon is the new strain of coronavirus na tinatawag natin na severe acute respiratory syndrome or coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2. So ito yung dahilan kaya nagkaroon ng COVID-19. So, yung severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. So, dun yun nanggaling yung COVID-19. So, nagsimula itong pandemic natin nung idineklara ito noong March 11, 2020. So, on that time, nasa school pa yata kami noon na may pasok kami noon. Tapos nagmamadali na kaming pinauwi kasi nga magla-lockdown sa Pilipinas. And according to my research, ang unang kaso ng COVID-19 is na natukoy sa Wuhan, China noong December 2019. So, doon nag-umpisa yung unang case ng COVID-19. They said that coronavirus is only common in some species of animals such as cattle and camel. And they said that the transmission of coronavirus to human is very rare. So, hindi nila alam kung paano ba sumalin sa tao yung coronavirus. So, paano nga ba kumalat itong si COVID-19? So, nung makuha na nung unang tao na yun na nagkaroon ng coronavirus doon sa bats or doon sa pangolin. So, paano kumalat yung coronavirus? SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 spread from person to person through close communities. So, ibig sabihin dahil sa pakikihalubilo nung nagkaroon ng COVID-19, so doon nagsimula yung pagkalat nito. nagkahawa-hawa na sila, nagkasalin-salin na ito sa mga tao. So, paano nga ba ito sumalin? Kapag ang isang tao is dumura or nakikipag-usap sa iyo ng malapit or bumahing o suminga, and sa pamamagitan nun merong lumalabas na mga small droplets na nanggaling dun sa may COVID na yon, and then napapasa ito sa ibang tao. So kapag ito ay nakuha nila yung mga droplets na yon, or tumalsik sa any parts of their body, and then hinawakan nila yung kanilang ilong or mouth, so doon na mag-uumpisang sumalin sa'yo yung coronavirus. Or kaya yung tao na yon is yung mga droplets na yon na nanggaling doon sa taong may COVID-19 is tumalsik sa isang bagay or isang lugar, and then nahawakan mo, tapos pagkatapos mo itong mahawakan at dumikit sa'yo yung mga droplets na yon, at iyon namang nahawakan ng ang iyong ilong or iyong bibig, doon din posible din na sumalin sa iyo yung coronavirus. So ganon yung nangyari, kaya nagkaroon ng pagkalat ng coronavirus sa mga tao. So until now, nilalabanan pa rin natin itong si COVID-19. So marami nang mga naging kaso at marami nang namatay nang dahil dito. So paano nga ba natin malalaman if you are infected by COVID-19? So dito mayroon tayong iba't ibang test na available para malaman kung ikaw ay symptomatic or asymptomatic sa COVID-19. So marahil may narinig kayo na mga swab test or rapid test or antibody test. So yon, isa yun sa mga test na available. So ano nga ba yung mga test na yon na tinatawag? So we have 3 available tests, COVID-19 tests. Number 1 is the polymerase chain reaction, or what we call the PCR test. And number 2 is antigen rapid test, or what we call rapid test. And number 3, the antibody or serology test. So ano nga ba yung pinagkakaiba-iba nilang tatlo? So alin nga ba yung pinakang accurate yung result kapag tinest ka? So I will explain it to you. So we have 3 COVID-19 tests available. So first one is the polymerase chain reaction, or what we call as PCR test. So what are these tests? These diagnostic tests are considered the most sensitive for detecting an active infection, and the results are highly accurate. So dun sa tatlo na COVID-19 test available, PCR test is highly accurate kasi dito kapag kinuha yung sample sa isang patient sa pamamagitan ng pag-swab sa kanilang nose or mouth, so hindi agad nila inilalabas yung result, kung saan dinadala nila ito sa isang laboratory para i-analyze and pag-aralan kung yung tao ba na kinuhanan ng sample na yun ay positive or negative dun sa COVID. So umaabot lang naman ito ng within 24 hours or a week bago mailabas yung result. So unlike in our next test, which is the antigen test, so dito naman ito yung tinatawag din natin na rapid test, kung saan maririnig natin ito kapag babiyahe tayo. So ito yung sinaswab ka yung iyong nose and mouth para kunan ka ng sample, And yung result is makukuha mo agad within a minutes, either 15 or 30 minutes. So makukuha mo na agad yung result. So ang kagandahan lang nito, if the result is positive, nag-positive yun o yung symptomatic ka at nag-positive ka, so the antigen tests are highly accurate. Nasabi ng highly accurate. But the problem is, paano kung yung positive ka pala sa COVID but hindi ka naman symptomatic? So yun yung malaking problem na nitong antigen test. So hindi niya, ang kinukuha lang dito na mahalaga is kapag nag-positive ka or symptomatic. And the last one is the antibody test. This antibody test, this test looks for antibodies to the coronavirus. Yung tinatawag naman antibodies are proteins your immune system produce to fight off a foreign invader like a virus or COVID-19. Antibody test cannot diagnose active coronavirus infection. So, dito naman, tinetest lang nila ikaw sa pamamagitan ng pagkuha ng dugo sa iyong daliri. And, yung result is, it tells you is whether you've been infected at some point in the past, even if the occurred months ago. So, hindi niya sinasabi kung ikaw ba ay infected ngayon. So ang inaano lang niya dito is yung kung nagkaroon ka na ba ng symptoms sa iyong past or nakalipas na. And antibody do not become detectable until at least several days after an infection has started. So lumalabas din yung result niya within a days or an hours para makuha mo yung result ng iyong test. So in general, PCR test yung pinakang highly accurate, and next one is the antigen, and last is the antibody. So that is the kinds of COVID-19 tests available. So yun yung mga COVID-19 tests na available. And ano naman yung pag sinabi natin na coronavirus COVID-19 vaccine. So ito yung mga inimbento or na-discover nila na mga pwedeng pakontra dito kay COVID-19. So marami na ngayon yung mga na-approve ng World Health Organization and non-DOH na mga vaccines na pwedeng kumontra kay COVID-19. So, what are those vaccine? And paano nila na tinetest itong mga vaccine ito bago nila ito pamigay sa publiko o i-bakuna sa publiko? So, paano nila tinetest yung safety and efficacy of it? And I will explain it to you. Now let's talk about COVID-19 vaccine. So according to WHO and DOH, so meron na silang nilabas na mga approved COVID-19 vaccine. So number 1, we have first BioNTech. Number 2 is Oxford AstraZeneca. Number 3 is CoronaVac, or what we called as Sinovac. We have Moderna and Gamaleya Sputnik 4. So how WHO and DOH tested its vaccines before they give us or yung ibakuna sa mga tao. So according to my research, an experimental vaccine is first tested in animals to evaluate its safety and potential to prevent disease sa hypo na nila ito tinitest. And it's then tested in human clinical trials in 3 phases. So may mga phases yung kung paano ba nila pinag-aaralan o tinitest yung vaccine. So in first phase or in phase 1, the vaccine is given to a small number of volunteers to assess its safety, confirm it generates an immune response, and determine the right dosage. So yung phase 1. So sa phase 2 naman, the vaccine is usually given hundreds of volunteers who are closely monitored for any side effects to further assess its ability to generate an immune response. In this phase also, data are also collected whenever possible on disease outcomes, but usually not in large enough number to have a clear picture of the effect of the vaccine on disease. Participants in this phase have the same characteristics such as age and sex. So, iisa yung kanilang age and sex as the people for whom the vaccine is intended. In this phase, some volunteers receive the vaccine and others do not, which allow comparison to be made and conclusion drawn about the vaccine. So, yun yung sa phase 2. So, kumukuha sila doon ng mga nagbo-volunteer para doon nila i-try yung yung COVID-19 vaccine. And in phase 3 naman, the vaccine is given to thousands of volunteers, some of whom receive the investigational vaccine and some of whom do not, just like in phase 2 trials. And the data from both groups is carefully compared to see if the vaccine is safe and effective against the disease it is designed to protect against. So, yun yung tatlong phase na kung paano nila tinitest yung COVID-19 vaccine. So, and once the result of clinical trials are available, a series of steps is required, including review of efficacy, safety, and manufacturing for regulatory and public health policy approvals before a vaccine may be introduced into a national immunization program. So, yun yung last na ginagawa nila bago nila i-release yung COVID-19 vaccine. So, I hope you understand it. So, yun yung mga aprobado na vaccines na meron tayo ngayon. And para saan nga ba itong bakuna na ito, or ano nga ba yung mangyayari sa ating katawan after na mabakunahan tayo? So, ito yung paliwanag kung paano yung vaccine ay gumagana sa loob ng ating body kapag nabakunahan tayo. Okay. So, how does vaccine works in our body? So, paano nga ba ito gumagana sa loob ng ating katawan matapos tayong bakunahan? So, according to my research again, so una yung tinatawag natin na mRNA vaccine or messenger RNA. So, ito yung vaccine na kung saan it uses genetically engineered mRNA to give your cell instruction for how to make the S protein found on the surface of the COVID-19 virus. So, after vaccination, your immune cells begin making the S protein pieces and displaying them on cell surface. This causes your body to create antibodies. So, yun, doon na nagkakaroon ng antibodies yung iyong katawan. If you later become infected with the COVID-19 virus, these antibodies will fight the virus. After delivering instruction, the mRNA is immediately broken down. It never enters the nucleus of your cells where your DNA is kept. So, both the Pfizer BioNTech and the modern COVID-19 vaccine use mRNA. So, yung dalawang vaccines na ginagamit. Another one is the vector vaccine. So, paano naman ito gumagana sa ating katawan? In this type of vaccine, genetic material from the COVID-19 virus is placed in a modified version of a different virus or viral vector. So when the viral vector gets into your cell, it delivers genetic material from the COVID-19 virus that gives your cell instruction to make copies of the S protein. So once your cells display the S protein on their surfaces, your immune system responds by creating antibodies and defensive white blood cells. If you later become infected with the COVID-19 virus, the antibodies will fight the virus. And viral vector vaccines can cause you to become infected with the COVID-19 virus or the viral vector virus. Also, the genetic material that delivered doesn't become part of your DNA. So, ano naman yung mga vaccines na ito? So, yun yung Johnson and Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. Ano pa? AstraZeneca and nag-provide nito is and one of the example also is the AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford. So, yun yung may mga vector COVID-19 vaccine. Last is the protein subunit vaccine. So, ito naman yung subunit vaccines include only the part of a virus that best stimulate your immune system. This type of COVID-19 vaccine contain harmless S protein. So once your immune system recognizes the S protein, it creates antibodies and defensive white blood cells. And if you later become infected with the COVID-19 virus, the antibodies will fight the virus. So ano naman yung mga vaccines na yun na under nito? So yun yung Novavax. It's working on a protein subunit COVID-19 vaccine. So kung mapapansin natin lahat dun sa mga vaccines na nabanggit, so lahat sila is nagpo-produce ng antibodies na nagiging panlaban dun sa virus. So yun yung binibigay nila sa ating katawan after na mabakunahan tayo. So nag-create ito ng antibodies. So yun yung mga paano gumagana yung virus yung vaccine sa ating katawan. So may ibang tao naman na nagsasabi na paano ba malalaman kung ikaw ay may ubo lang or may COVID ka na. So meron kasing silang pagkakaparehong dalawa sa symptoms, and yung iba is kapag may ubo na sila, akala nila agad is may COVID na sila, pero hindi nila alam na yun ay ubo lang. So paano nga ba malalaman kapag ito ay flu or COVID? So ito yung mga symptoms na pwedeng makatulong sa inyo para malaman kung kayo ay may ubo or may COVID. So dun sa flu, ang symptoms niya is nagsisimula sa 1 to 4 days after exposure. So 1 hanggang 4 na araw. So doon mo pa lang yung mararamdaman na yung iyong sakit na ubo. And one of the cause of this is the influenza virus strain. Complication may not occur due to immunity build up over time. So wala na masyadong komplikasyon sa iyong immunity. And prevention includes an annual flu shot. So yung iwasan lang natin dito is yung umupo tayo sa harap ng ibang tao. In other side naman, ang symptoms naman ng COVID, so nagsisimula naman siya in 1 to 14 days after exposure. Typically around day 5. So yun yung dun makikita yung mga symptoms sa iyo after nagsisimula sa 1 to 14 days. And one of the cause of it is the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So, yun yung dahilan. And complication may include sudden onset of respiratory complications such as shortness of breath or difficulty breathing and new loss of taste or smell. So, yun yung mga mararanasan mo kapag nagkakaroon ka na ng symptoms ng COVID. So, nagkakaroon ka ng mahirap na paghinga. So, yun yung may shortness of breath and nawawalan ng panlasa and pangamoy. Prevention includes self-isolation, social distancing, and wearing a mask. So, napakahalaga dito. Lalo na sa ngayon, yung social distancing and wearing a mask and self-isolation. So, dapat sumunod tayo dyan. So, I hope this information help you to differentiate flu to COVID-19. So, both viruses are transmitted by respiratory droplets from an infected person and both cause fever, chills, cough, fatigue, muscle or body ache, headache, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea, and diarrhea. So, yun yung mga pinagkapareho nila. So, yun yung pinagkaiba at pinagkapareho nilang dalawa. So I know that you already heard about Delta variant. So, ito yung bagong case of COVID-19 na binabantayan at minomonitor ng WHO and then DOH around the world. So, bakit nga ba nila ito minomonitor at binabantayang maigi? So, ano nga ba itong Delta variant? So, what is Delta variant? So, Delta is the name from B1617.2 variant, a SARS-CoV-2 mutation that originated surface in India. So, nanggaling ito sa India. And the first Delta case was identified in December 2020. The World Health Organization has called this version of the virus the fastest and fittest. And so, hindi lang pala Delta variant yung meron. So, meron din tayo tinatawag na Alpha, Beta, and Gamma na variants. Kung saan ito yung pinakang minomonitor ng WHO sa lahat ng bansa sa buong mundo. Kasi sinasabi nila na yung mas mabilis itong makahawak kaysa dun sa COVID-19 and the Delta variants has now been detected in more than 100 countries in the coming months, and it is expected to become the dominant strain globally. So ngayon nga laganap na yung Delta variant na ito. So halos yung ibang bansa is meron na rin silang mga case na tungkol dito sa Delta variant. So Delta, which was designated as the variant of concern in May, it's believed to be the reason behind a vicious second wave of the virus in India, with daily new infection that month in the country exceeding 400,000. So, among the 4 variants of concern, Delta is believed to be the most transmissible variant yet. So, the Delta variant is estimated to be between 40 to 60% more transmissible than the Alpha variant, which was first detected in UK according to a number of studies. So, dun sa apat na yon, so si Delta variant pala yung pinakang most transmissible, yung mabilis mabilis ipasa sa ibang tao. So, yun yung about Delta variant. So, yun yung aking information about COVID-19. And I hope this information will help to you to become aware about it, and advice ko lang na palagi lang tayong sumunod sa mga health protocol sa ating mga lugar. So, panatilihin din natin malinis ang ating katawan para hindi tayo mahawa ng coronavirus. So, yun lang, and thank you.